anonymity up here. I'm currently wrapping up my first year as a PhD student here at Claremont School of Theology, and I'm absolutely in love with this school, this program. So grateful to be studying here. I find it comes very easy and natural to me when I'm asked about CST to attest to the fact that this is truly a special place to learn, grow, and transform oneself in a positive manner. My academic background is that I received a BA in Religious Studies from University of Resonance and then an MA in Contemplative Religions from Naropa University, a Buddhist-inspired college located in Boulder, Colorado. But it's especially due to my personal strong affinity and enthusiasm for the traditions, the Dharma traditions of Asia and India, both as a student and a practitioner, that it is a particularly special and humbling occasion for me to be partaking in this event tonight. So I thank you all for allowing me to do so. Now, as MC, I must make a couple quick housekeeping announcements. First, if you haven't done so already, please check your cell phones and ensure that they are either turned off or turned to silent mode. Thank you. Secondly, so that everyone knows, the bathrooms are located downstairs. You do have to take the stairs, so if you're somebody that cannot use stairs, there is another building with handicap access just over in the Butler building, which if you go down to this parking lot, it's the building that's just northeast of that lot. So please feel free to use that if you need to. With that being said, please allow me to introduce to the stage Dr. Deepak Shankara. I know Dr. Shankara personally as a fantastic professor of Hindu studies here on campus, where I must, as his former student, briefly share how he leads a very lively and fun class and has a special knack for capturing religious teachings and narrative by bringing out those aspects into a meaningful and modern-day context. Beyond this, Dr. Shankara teaches at other nearby universities such as Claremont McKenna College and the University of the West. He is also president of the Indic Foundation and chair of the 2015 Buddha Jayanti Celebration Committee. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Dr. Deepak Shankara.
Thank you, Michael, for that wonderful introduction. Indeed, again, welcome to this glorious evening, and this is indeed a historic day. It is coming together of four community groups, that is Hindus, Jains, and Sikhs, and Claremont School of Theology. To seal this into a relationship, into a partnership, today we are signing an MOU between Claremont School of Theology and the members of the Center for South Asian Religious Traditions. I welcome you to witness a historic event tonight. We have timed the signing of the MOU with Buddha Jayanti, that is Buddha's birthday. Today is also the full moon day, and that is when Buddha was born. The idea of combining MOU, signing with Buddha's Jayanti, should go to Nathaniel Katz, Director of Public Relations at Claremont School of Theology. Today's event, therefore, consists of two parts. The first part is obviously the MOU signing, followed by Buddha's birthday. Three groups, again, that is Hindus, Jains, and Sikhs, are coming together to form a partnership. This alliance has resulted in a center under the flagship of Claremont School of Theology. The purpose of CSART, this in short, Center for South Asian Religious Traditions, is called CSART, is to promote Indic art, culture, philosophy, through education and social activism. Claremont School of Theology, that is CST, and the Center for South Asian Religious Traditions, CSART, share a common core values. Both institutions work to foster academic excellence in the study of religious traditions of South Asia. As an interreligious university, Claremont School of Theology works with scholars and practitioners from most of the world's major religious traditions. as well as with secular experts. CST seeks to build constructive partnerships across multiple traditions for the common good. The Center for South Asian Religious Traditions brings expertise in the cultures, traditions, and practices of the Hindu, Jain, and Sikh religions. Its primary goals are to provide high-quality, accredited academic courses on the Indic traditions at the undergraduate and graduate levels, and to arrange events that feature the historical, cultural, spiritual, religious, musical, and artistic richness of the traditions of South Asia. To reflect these core values, CST and CSAR jointly will offer courses in each respective religious tradition and will jointly organize programs on the CST campus with a view to forward enriching the lives of community members of various persuasions in the Southland. The CST administration values the tradition of academic excellence that each of the CSAR centers is likely to contribute to the richness of lives in the U.S. It therefore will develop in the next decade its deep connections with South Asian religious communities around the world and the series of cultural and educational events that the CSAR and each of the centers will organize. We wish to open the doors for the CSAR and each center to be active in organizing and sponsoring courses and cultural events within and in partnership with CST. With that spirit in mind, CSAR is born. Let the cooperative work begin with CSAR and each respective center, Hindu, Jain, and Sikh, providing an average of 2 courses per year as part of the regular curriculum offering of Claremont School of Theology. These courses will be governed by the same memoranda of understanding that govern the relationship between CSAR and its other cooperative institutions, including the same revenue sharing arrangements and the same access to services. Claremont School of Theology hopes to establish independent and standalone centers for each of the Indic traditions, namely Center for Jain Studies, Center for Hindu Studies, and Center for Sikh Studies, which will offer accredited degrees. We intend that the curricular offerings of each of these religious traditions will contribute to CSAR's program in Indic studies and will be offered as important components of whatever programs are established. We wish to be visible in our community by offering courses in Indic studies and organizing conferences, cultural and educational programs like this one today. Many of you have been our promoters and benefactors, for which we are grateful. We hope to continue to receive your help, cooperation, and support as we move forward. Who is better than you, as community members, to support our mission? So please help us put us on the map of Southern California as a premier institute of higher learning when it comes to the studies of Hinduism, Jainism, and Sikhism in the United States. With that, I would like to conclude and I would like to welcome you to the signing ceremony of MOU today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shikata. We will now ceremoniously begin to light the lamps, which represent the flame of illumination, spiritual illumination. So could we please have Dr. Shikata come up here?
Actually, there would be all 4 of us will be coming to light the lamp. So there are actually 5 lamps. 5 lamps. So each of the traditions, and including the president of CST, and the one that is head one, president of the designs that you want to get on the stage?
No, just do it from the
As they are doing that, please let me share a little bit of, about the symbolism of the lamp lighting. The lamps are being lit adjacent to one another to symbolically represent unity within diversity. Each individual light itself, as many of you may likely be aware, is a meaningful symbol standing for spiritual illumination. Each of these lights represents the potential for spiritual knowledge to be found within ourselves, for also the light of peace, which arises out of interreligious and intercultural harmony, and lastly, for the clarity and direction which comes from traditional religious guidance, ancient dharmic wisdom which has been beautifully and selflessly preserved and transmitted to us into the present day. Excellent. Thank you very much. We are now going to hear a welcoming address from the president of the Claremont School of Theology, Dr. Jeffrey Kwan. As a quick introduction, before coming to Claremont, Dr. Kwan served on the faculties of Pacific School of Religion, the Graduate Theological Union in Berkeley, California, and also the Southeast Asia Graduate School's regional faculty. He has served both as an editor for the New Interpreter's Dictionary of the Bible and on the Council for the Society of Biblical Literature. In 2004, the California and Nevada Annual Conference named him the winner of the Turtle Award for sticking his neck out for the LGBTQ community. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming to the stage CSTU President Dr. Jeffrey Kwan.
Thank you very much, Michael. This is a very auspicious day for both for Claremont School of Theology, but also for me personally. I believe this is the first time that we are hosting the Buddha Jayanti here at the School of Theology. But it has a special significance for me personally. As I was born and raised in Malaysia, in a multicultural, multi-religious context, I grew up with friends who are Hindu, Buddhists, Sikhs, Muslims, Christians. But I also grew up in an interfaith family. My father's side of the family were Buddhists and continue to be Buddhists. I remember when I was still a child, my paternal grandfather would often take the two oldest grandsons, and I'm one of them, on visits to different places. And most of the time, those visits will include visits to Buddhist temples and temples of Chinese religious traditions. I have always lived in a world that is multi-religious. When I was dating my now wife, she also came from a Chinese religious family, and Buddhist family. I remember spending a lot of time in inter-religious dialogue with my wife's grandmother. We would talk about our faith, we would talk about symbols, religious symbols, we would talk about theology. And so, in my world, I have always lived in a multi-religious, inter-religious world. To the extent that I do not know how to live in a world that is mono-religious and monocultural. And the reality is that our world has been and will continue to be even more so multi-religious, and we better learn how to live in this kind of a world. If any of us think that we can help build this kind of world as individual traditions, friends, we are sorely mistaken. We can only make this world a better place when we work together for the future of our world. Even as a theologian, I have always seen the importance of theological education not being taught in a religious vacuum. And so, coming to Claremont School of Theology, one of the attractions of coming to Claremont School of Theology is to come to a place that is ready to lead theological education in a new direction. There are very, very few Christian theological schools today that are doing the kind of inter-religious, multi-religious work that we are doing today. That goes back to our history as a school of theology. Some of our professors have been engaged in inter-religious dialogue for a very long time. And so it was not a surprise when we decided that we need to take theological education to the next level, to build inter-religious dialogue, inter-religious work, the study of other religious traditions as part of our curriculum. This will help all our students to be better religious leaders in whatever context they find themselves in. We have partnerships with BN Claremont, an Islamic graduate school which is now part of Claremont School of Theology. We have a very close relationship with the Academy for Jewish Religion, California, and a very close relationship with the University of the West, a Buddhist, an East Asian Buddhist university. But we are also missing some very key partners. The entire Arabic tradition, represented by Sikhism, Jainism, and Hinduism. And so when these partners approached me to begin conversation, to begin the Center for the Study of Asian Religious Traditions, this is an opportunity that Claremont School of Theology cannot afford to pass up. Because the addition of Sikhism, Jainism, and Hinduism in our curriculum, in what we do together, would only strengthen the work that we can do together. And so I look forward to building a strong relationship with the Center for the Study of Asian Religious Traditions. And I say to my friends who have been in conversation with me, and my hope is that CSART will someday become a school itself, offering degree programs, graduate degree programs, in collaboration with all our partners. That will create a distinctive, a unique school that is unprecedented here in North America. I know today, as I think of my grandfather, as I think of my wife's grandmother, I know somehow, somewhere, they could not have imagined that I will be working in a school of religion that will be hosting Buddha Jayanti. And I know that they, somewhere, somehow, they will be looking at me and smiling. So on behalf of Claremont School of Theology, I welcome all of you to this auspicious event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kwan, for that very sincere and thoughtful message. Ladies and gentlemen, we all now have the special honor in bearing witness to a rather momentous and exciting occasion. Indeed, a veritable historical moment. It hasn't happened yet, but soon it will be a historical moment. In just a few minutes here, we will be witnessing the signing of an important memorandum agreement, which will allow new opportunities, not just to members of these three religious communities themselves, Jains, Sikhs, and Hindus alike, but also provide tremendous new possibilities for students like myself and members of the local community to gain exposure and first-hand knowledge and experience of these respective Dharma traditions. And this agreement will come to effect not just the field of religion strictly, but also in terms of myriad other opportunities and events to be held, in terms of sharing and learning of Dharmic culture, art, travel, history, and many other such enriching and diverse domains. I can attest to the importance of this kind of signing myself, as I have significantly benefited already through this very same kind of opportunity and explicit intention for mutual agreement and interreligious openness. Since I will have the blessing of traveling to India for 6 weeks this summer in an affordable and outstanding Jain Studies program, of which I can assure all of you that I am most excited and grateful to be participating in. So as a student of CST and a representative of the student body at large here, the student body of today and in the future, allow me to express my confidence in the fact that this is a truly a major win for everyone at stake, and thus it is sincerely an influential, inspiring occasion. Now we're going to hear a few words from representatives from the Center for Jain Studies, the Center for Sikh Studies, and the Center for Hindu Studies. First, please allow me to introduce to you from the Center for Jain Studies, Dr. Nitin Shah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Respected President Dr. Kwan, all mumuksus, and all other guests. I'm Dr. Nitin Shah. By profession, I put people to sleep and then wake them up and send them my bill. I'm an anesthesiologist. To talk a little today, religion is very complex on one hand. So I looked at how do we define religion? And this is what I came up with as per Richard Dawkins. Religion is about turning untested belief into unshakable truth through the power of institutions and the passage of time. And that's where CST is taking the next step. Thank you, Dr. Kwan and the board, for giving us this opportunity. We truly appreciate this initiative to explore, study, and spread the principles of South Asian religious traditions. Amongst this, Jain religion. Jain religion believes that there is no beginning and there is no end. And every living being has a soul. And we all strive to get through cycles of life, birth, and ultimately death, and work with the principles to liberate ourselves from that cycle and achieve nirvana. By practicing three main principles: ahimsa, or non-violence, aparigra, non-possessiveness, and anikantva, multiplicity of views. Jain community in Southern California is thrilled at this opportunity where we will have an opportunity to spread the principles that we believe in. To end, I must thank Dr. Priti and Pankaj Shah, who helped us with the sponsorship of this event today. And I leave you all, ladies and gentlemen, with Muhammad Ali's quote. He said, "Rivers, ponds, and lakes, and streams, they all have different names, but they all contain water. Just as religions do, they all contain truth." And that's what we are all here to quest, to find that truth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shah. Now please join me in introducing from the Center for Sikh Studies, Mr. Jagdishpal Singh.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and President Mr. Jeffrey Kaun. Sat Shri Akal. First of all, I want to thank Sikh community for their support, and equally important, I want to thank Claremont School of Theology, especially President Jeffrey Kaun, who has been very helpful to us. Aim of the Sikh studies is to bring awareness in the country about the Sikh religion, which is the fifth largest independent religion in the world. We also appreciate Jain brothers, Dr. Nitin Shah, for their collaboration with us, which has been a very good experience for us. And also thanks to Mr. Deepak and Buddhist organization. To celebrate and commemorate this event, I now present one of the symbols of Sikhs, that is turban, to Mr. Jeffrey Kaun. Now I request Mr. Jeffrey Kaun to please come to the stage, as well as Dr. Sahota ji, Dr. Ramesh Singh ji, and Dr. Sahai ji. Please come to the stage. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Jeffrey's grandfather was a Buddhist, and his family has Christian today his family has the 6th house. Personality, right? Very nice. Very good. It's good on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep your cameras ready now.
Thank you.
Stand in the center, and now is the time that all the cameras can. Here.
Daerah Kalimantan, Monorail, dan itu di sekolah.